This is Casey Doty, Director of Technology at Keller Williams Arizona Realty, and I am teaching Command Follow-Up 10 Days of Pain.
Actually, first thing we're going to do is make sure your home page is customized because this is important if you're going to be getting leads in through here. So this is a new feature they've added. Some of you might have already seen it, but if you click on the top right corner, you can click Customize Home, and you can choose, first of all, which things you want to see on your home page. I just have all mine checked, but what I did is leads was down here for me. So I moved leads up to the top and tasks up to the top. So now when I log in, I automatically see my tasks first and my leads right there. So they're both at the top. So you can see those right away. And then you can still see I still have all the other stuff down here. But this is where any leads you get from Facebook or your website or your app, this is where they're all going to come through, is right here. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to create a neighborhood landing page. That's going to be a portion of that's a thing that's going to be in our smart plan. And the reason I'm doing it this way is breaking these into sections is that way you can go back and watch these individual sections if you want to set up these things. And then we're going to go through the actual smart planning. I'm just going to click on the neighborhood I'm in, hit save. And now you can say, now it has me subscribe to that neighborhood. Now we're going to preview the See, now that we're previewing the neighborhood landing page, this is exactly what your clients are going to see. So a neighborhood landing page is a personal landing page for the client. No other clients have access to this. This is their personal landing page. So they can keep this for as long as you have command. And anytime you add a new neighborhood to it, it'll just pop up on this one. You don't have to send them a new link. They can add their own neighborhoods. There's a draw feature where you can draw a box and it'll show you pendings and solds in that certain area. You can click on the neighborhood stats up here, and this will actually show you stats for that neighborhood. So you can see homes for sale, pending, some other information about average home price, price per square foot. You can set up a commute from a certain area if you want to do that. Shows you all the Yelp listings of all the businesses in that area, which I think is a super cool feature. A list of all the homes for sale, and of course your lead capture down here at the bottom. So it's that easy to set up the neighborhood landing page. Now, one of the coolest things about this is anytime they look at a home on here, you actually get to see the home that they looked at. Or if they add a new neighborhood, you get to see that. So they can schedule a tour right here. They can contact you right through here. They can save properties. It's a really cool feature that no other CRMs have. So now we're going to go back to our command page here, and I'm going to hit refresh. And so now, that's as easy as it is to create a neighborhood landing page. Now, if you were going to go to the step of actually sending it to them, what you would do is go to the smart plan and add from the library the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan. So you could do bi-weekly or month. So this will be every 14 days. This one sends it to them once a month. And what it does is once a month, it sends them an email with a list of their neighborhoods, and they can click on it and get to their landing page. And the first time you put them in there, right away it sends them their landing page. So that's how you would actually send it to them, by just putting them in this smart plan. So when you want to add a smart plan to your library, so I already have these added to my smart plans from the library, so that's why I can't add them. So you can see right here, and then if you just want to add the client you just created the neighborhood for, you just hit add contact, and I would just search for the name of the person that I just created it for, and click and do add to smart plan, and then right away that's going to send them the smart plan that you just create, or not the smart plan, send them the neighborhood landing page you just created. And again, if you choose the bi-weekly, it'll update them once every 14 days. Monthly updates them once a month. You're going to send them that smart plan. Now, the rest of the tasks are going to be a part of the smart plan, but this will just show up as a task in the smart plan, and you will do the steps that I just did there, everything I just did, creating the landing page, and then also sending them the landing page through the monthly neighborhood nurture, just like I did there. And again, it will be a task inside the 10-day smart plan we do. So I'll go into more detail in a little bit on how to do that. Now, another thing you can do is create a neighborhood search for them. So I'm going to delete this one. So this works similar to an MLS portal where you set up the parameters. So say, for instance, that the people looked at looked at your ad, and then we're gonna call this Brandon, what would you title the search when you're sending it to them? Would you title it with the search parameters?
I usually use their last name.
Last name. Okay, so okay, so make sure you spell everything right when you're doing this. So now then you can do this based on neighborhood or zip code. Now, like I said, if you don't know where they live, what I would do is just take the zip code of the property that they looked at in the ad. So say they looked at a property listing in the ad, just do that zip code. So say the ad was in 85260, hit enter. What just happened there? Zip code 85260. Give it a second to populate here. And then click that, and then that means you've selected that zip code right there. So then price range, similar. So you're gonna have sent them some text and things as part of the smart plan we're gonna set up. So if you've actually heard back from them, then things are gonna go a little differently. You're gonna base it on what happened in the call. So then you'll actually know possibly the exact price range they're looking for and things like that. So things will change based on if you actually talk to them, what they say on the call. So that, of course, changes what goes on with these smart plans and what goes on with how you respond to them. So say the house was 300,000 to 500,000. And then you can do keywords here if you want. I'm not a big fan of putting in the keywords because say you put in pool, but then in the listing they put like does not have a pool or perfect yard for a pool or something like that. Well, then it would still show them that house, but they would think it had a pool because you put pool as one of the keywords. So I would just leave keywords off and just do it based on price of the home. And then if beds, baths, I would really just base it on, honestly, the price. Brandon, do you think basing it on the price of the home only, or would you base it more on even do more parameters from the listing that they looked at?
So as a rule, I keep it really general.
General.
If it's a $300,000 house, honestly, I'm probably going to max it out at like 350 or 400.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, guys, don't overthink it. Don't spend a lot of time on it. For something like that, I would just do the general zip code that the listing's in, up to 400, 3-bed, 2-bath, starting at like 1,500 square feet, no max. Done.
Cool.
Move on with your life, because what you want them to do is get properties, because that will get them coming back to your site.
Yep. So after you get that set up, you hit create, and then that automatically sends them an email with this search information. So it automatically sends it to them. You don't have to do anything. You can see so here I'm going to show you guys what the email looks like. So it automatically sends them an email with the information, with this home search set up. So that automatically sends it to them right there. And it gives you the option to visit the site and different type of stuff. So just by setting up that search, it automatically sends it to them. Okay, so now the next step, so those are kind of the two of the features that we're going to use inside of the smart plan we're doing. Now I'm going to take you through setting up the smart plan. So to do that, we're going to go to smart plans. And then I'm also going to send you guys, I'm going to share with you guys a document. So Brandon has been super kind to share some language and things with me. So I'm actually going to send you guys a Google Drive doc that kind of lists out some language to use when setting up these plans. So, and it'll kind of be a live document, so we'll update it as it goes along. So I'm going to throw this into Google Drive real quick, and I'm going to share this with you guys. And most of you are already members of the Google Drive. I think everybody in the class right now is already part of my Google Drive I have set up. So it's just going to be, there's going to be a folder in here now called lead follow up. So give me 1 second, guys, and I'm going to send this to you, because then you'll just be able to copy and paste this into your smart plans we're going to set up right now instead of having to retype all this stuff. Okay. So Adriana, you were in the class earlier. It's the same thing I shared with you in the previous class, unless this is a different Adriana. Okay. Okay, so now in the Google Drive file, the KWAZ marketing Google Drive file, you guys will now have access to this folder that's called lead follow-up, and you're going to have this document in here that goes over, so day 1, day 2, day 3, and then day 4, and then I'll add more to this, but then the smart plans you put them on will take care of day 4, day 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then we'll add them to the long-term campaign. So for those of you that are in here, yep, everybody in here has been added to that. So you guys can all go look that up when you need to. Okay, so smart plans. So in here, you can see there's quite a few smart plans already in here, and we're actually going to incorporate a couple of these into the 10-day smart plan we're going to set up. So we're actually going to incorporate the Promote My App smart plan into it, and also depending on, I'm going to have to look once we get in there if we're going to actually do the neighborhood nurture one as part of that or do that separate. So we'll look at that in just a second. So, and you can see there's a quarterly call plan. So that allows you basically, that's a reminder to call your people once a quarter. So we're going to put them on that one and a couple, and it's just going to make things so much easier. It'll all be automated for you. So let's go to My Smart Plans, and we're just going to set this. We're just going to create this. So we're going to hit create. And we're going to call this, I'm going to call this one Facebook Lead Follow Up. And the cool thing is later, what you can do is if we like this smart plan and you're going to you want to use pieces of it because a lot of this will work for other types of leads too besides Facebook, well, you can actually copy the smart plan and just make changes to the new one that you copy. So it makes that real easy for you. Okay, so this is where you kind of have to decide how detailed do you want to get with this smart plan. So I'm going to make it very detailed. If you want to leave certain steps out, that's up to you. I'd recommend putting them all in there. And one of the things I'm talking about is we're going to create for every task that you need to do too is going to have another step in there. And then your task section will remind you, okay, I need to create this home search. I need to call this person. I need to do this. So we're going to put all that into the smart plan. And then I think that's the best way to do it. Then you'll just get reminded about everything you need to do. You can check everything off that you've done. So the first thing we're going to do is, right when you get that lead, you're going to want to mark them as a Facebook lead as a tag, and then we're going to add them to this smart plan. Like right when you get that lead, I would put them right into this smart plan. So let's start creating it. So the first thing you're going to do is make a call. So you're going to click right here on make a call. So, and you're going to say, you're going to put call, and then this is one of the cool things that'll help you when you're doing automated texting or just when you're actually doing these tasks to have this stuff in front of you. So this little function button over here, this merge field button, this allows you to have the system put the first person's name in here. So we're going to say call, and then we're going to click that first name, and you can see right here, so now it says call first name. So in the task, it'll say call Casey or call Brandon or call James. It'll actually put their first name in there. So that'll make things a lot easier for you when you're doing this. So the text, then the task description is, and this is going to be a little tedious setting this up, guys. Once you set it up, you only have to set it up this one time, and then you can edit it and do things after that. But so we're going to say call, and then again, we're going to do first name, and then we're also going to put in their phone number. So that way it's all right there for you. You do not have to worry about, you don't have to worry about that part of it. So, and then we're gonna type what you're gonna say on the call, so that way you have that info right here. So I'm gonna just copy and paste what I have in this email right here. And again, so right here where it says where I have first name, we're actually gonna delete that. And again, we're gonna use this merge field option, and we're gonna put the first name in there. So that way it's automatically gonna create that script for you in your task, which should make things much easier. And for you, obviously, you don't want to put agent name. It's going to be your name in all these. So just put in your name in these. And thanks for checking out my listing at. And then now for this part of it, I'm trying to think. Brandon, what is your suggestion on this? Should you just know which ad you'd use this person is responding to? Would you put it in the notes, or how would you do that part of it?
What do you mean?
So right here, I'm putting like in a script for them in this task. So you don't know which address you're going to be doing the ad for, or should you set up a copy this smart plan for each separate ad?
You could, especially once the triggers are fully functional, but for the moment, I would just have one. Now, when a lead comes in, it will tell you which ad it came in off of.
Okay.
It's in your notes section.
Okay, cool. So you will have that in the notes section, and I highly recommend when you're calling these people, you want to be in the contact card anyways, so you'll have that information. So I'm just going to leave that as blank, and you'll just say that information when you're calling them. Okay, so that's step one. And then also, so these things, so this smart plan is contingent on them not answering. So this is if you leave them a message. Now you can use similar language if they actually answer, but obviously you're going to have to field that on the fly, and depending on what they say and everything, then that determines also what you're going to say. But this is going to be like the message. This is going to be the message you would leave. And then, so we're going to add the next step is going to be a text message. So we're going to do text message. And so here's where you guys have two different options. So if you are going to set up your Twilio and have automated text messaging, which I do recommend doing because then this is all automated, you don't have to type any of this. You just have to type this once and it's going to text it for you. Then for this step, you're going to do you're going to do the text, you're going to do a text message. If not, you're going to do a task for this section, and you're going to do the same thing we did up here, except it's going to be with text messaging. So you're going to say text, first name, phone number, and then similar thing to what we did here. This will be the text message that you type in. So again, this is for those of you that are not going to be using the Twilio. If you are going to be using Twilio, give me a second and I'll do that up here. You won't put this task in if you're going to be using Twilio. And you can always change this out later. Like say you set this up without using Twilio right now. For those of you that don't know, Twilio is the automated text messaging system in Command. So if you later decide, oh, I do want to use Twilio, then you would just switch out these steps in this smart plan, and I'll help you with that if you need to do that. So now one thing you're going to do on any text messages you send through this system is, through the system or through, if you're doing it yourself, is you want to put all of your information in the text. So put your signature in there. Keller Williams, Arizona Realty. So you want to make sure you always put your signature in on these text messages. Now on the text message signature, Brandon, do you put everything, phone number, email, website, all that, or is that just on emails that you do all that info?
I just do that on emails.
So on this, just name and company on the text, or what do you do on?
I always say that within the body of the text.
Okay, so just do that in the body of the text.
Yep, like, hey, Casey, it's Brandon with Keller Williams, Arizona Realty.
Now, what about, like we talked about, what about putting your phone number in there, or do you just let them text you back and deal with that in a different text?
Yeah, I deal with that on a per-need basis.
Okay.
I mean, the vast majority of the time, they're not going to, unless it's, especially when you're talking about a new lead.
Okay.
Now, they may call you, and then they may text you back, hey, man, I tried to call you, but the thing got messed up or something like that. And then you would just call them, oh, okay, no problem, I'll give you a call.
Yeah, so they'll text you and say, hey, I tried to call you or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you. Okay, so again, this is a task if you're not doing the automated text messaging. So now if we are doing the automated text messaging, we're going to do something very similar, except you have to remember this is going to be what the system actually sends them, is what we put in here. So you want to be very careful, because it's not going to be you copying and pasting or you typing. This is going to be exactly what you put in here. So we're going to say, hi, contact first name, Keller Williams, Arizona Realty. Thanks again for checking out my listing at blah, blah, blah on Facebook. And then I'm going to put together a list of similar properties for you. Is there anything specific you're looking for? And so again, it'll automatically send out this text if you're using Twilio. And for those of you that don't have Twilio set up, I'll do a little video later that'll show you how to set that up. It's not difficult. You do have to remember, you do pay per text you send. It's super cheap. It's like 0.0073 cents per text or something. Like, it's really cheap. It's $20 to set it up, but then that money goes to any texting that you do. And you can choose, you pay $1 a month to have a local number, which I do recommend getting a local number on there, because if not, it'll be a 512 number. Okay, so that would be day one. Now we're going to go to day two, and you can see what day this is by right here. The days are listed on the top of the smart plan. So day two is going to be another phone call. So day two is going to be a phone call, and we're going to do the same thing here. And again, I know this is tedious to set up, but this is worth doing because this saves you tons of time in the future, and also keeps you on track, keeps you on task. Make sure you do all this stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this to day two. Why is that not changing?
Did you put set delay?
Oh, is that what you have to do?
Yeah, you actually have to drop in set delay.
So right here.
No, no.
Oh, between it. I got you. I got you. I apologize. I know what you're talking about. Okay, so in between days, you have to add in right here where it says set delay. So, and then we're going to move this one up. So this is going to be, so in between, you're going to be set delays. And so day one, and then, so if this changes, so you can see when I change the number on this delay, it changes the day on the next thing that comes after this. So if I change this to 11 days, then the next step after this delay is day 12. So we're going to set this as 1 day because the next thing we're going to do is on day 2. Okay, so again, we're going to say call, and we're going to do first name and phone number. And then again, we're going to do, so this time we are not going to leave a message. So we're not going to leave a message on that call. So that's a call, and if they don't answer, don't leave a message. So, and now the next step on this day is going to be an email. So we're going to do send an email. And so when we're sending these emails, now lots of times you're going to see when we do these smart plans, we're not going to use the emails that are heavily graphics based. They have all kinds of information in them. We're just going to send, and you can see right here what's called a simple email. You can see the email type is simple in HTML. Guys, the response rate, I know the emails that have all this stuff in them look cooler, and we will use those for certain things, but the response rate is actually much higher on just the simple emails, and basically it just looks like you sat down and wrote the person an email and typed it out, not like they're part of some big email campaign and clearly getting a marketing thing from you. So that's why a lot of these times we're just going to go with the simple email here. And for other smart plans than this, especially those of you that are in the coaching program, Jackie has came up with a bunch of great language to use on these emails through this system. So, excuse me. Okay, so for the email, we're going to do, the subject is going to be, actually, I don't know what the subject's going to be.
For an email, Casey?
For the first email you're sending in the campaign, yeah, the smart plan. What do you do?
I usually use thanks, exclamation point.
Oh, well, that's easy enough.
Because the whole thing with all of this, guys, is you want them to open the email. You want that, so when you're crafting all of this language, you want them to open the email, you want them to reach back out to you, you want them to respond. So don't give them all the information in the subject line.
I like it. So again, we're going to use. So now, I have the same text for this first text and first email. Should we change that text up a little bit, Brandon, or do just the same text?
I don't. Keep in mind, this is based on the simple fact that you haven't heard back from them.
We haven't heard back from them, so that's why I just kept it the same.
Yeah. So it's one of those situations where I'm going to use the exact same text because I haven't heard back from you, and I don't even know if my text is hitting. So,
yep.
But feel free. I mean, here's my suggestion, guys. I've used this for years. Imitate before you innovate, benchmark it, and then actually go ahead and start making some changes. And if you get better results, let me know because I'll change mine.
Yeah. And that's one of the cool things that I love about working at Keller Williams is, so Brandon is one of our top people for growth here. He's an amazing recruiter and he's an amazing agent. And so he's done all this stuff through experience. So he's sharing all of his knowledge with us, and he just gave me all this stuff for you guys to use, any of this. So I'll add a bunch more stuff onto this document. And so, like he said, he's used this stuff before, it works. And that's kind of what we do at Keller Williams, is we want everybody to be successful. So we're going to share with everybody. So now, okay, so since this is going to be an automated email right here, I would not put in I would just say for checking out my listing on Facebook, because obviously you can't put in, until we get this set up to where you're going to have a different campaign or smart plan for each listing you're doing through Facebook. It needs to be a little more generic, because you obviously can't put in like 39th Street and then maybe this isn't they didn't look at the property on 39th Street. So I would just say Facebook, and I would do the same thing, honestly, for the automated. If you're doing an automated text up here, I would just say my listing on Facebook, and not put in the address.
Correct.
Yep. So now if you're doing it manually, if you're doing the manual task, then go ahead and throw that in there. But if it's automated, make sure you just say on Facebook, because you never want the wrong information in there. So now this is very important, guys, on the email. You need to make sure that you add in, again, it's just going to be a simple email signature. So do your name. And there is an unsubscribe button that does go out with this, so that makes it all legal, but you do want to put your information in here. So Keller, Realty, and then phone number. And then website. So whatever your website is, I'm putting in my website. Okay, and here's another very important thing you want to put in on all these is to download my home search app, text, and then you're going to put your agent code in right here. So all you guys have an agent code associated with your app. So there's a couple different places you can get that from. So you don't have to leave this system. You can get it right out of the app. If you just hit share the app on your phone and then share it by text, and it'll show you the message it's going to send. And that code is what's at the end of that link on that message. So it's generally 8 characters. So you're going to text that code, like for instance, say it's KW56X1, whatever it is, and you do it all capitalized. And then you're going to say text that to 87778. And what that does is that allows them to download your app. So if you need help finding your app code later, I can help you with that. It's also on this consumer page over here, but I don't want you to click off of this because you'll lose what you're doing right here. So again, make sure you put a signature in there, just type it in. And what I would do is, for instance, I would take this and have this saved somewhere so you don't have to retype that every time. So like I have the stuff that I have set up in a Google Drive document. What you can do if you want, you can take my Google Drive document and copy and paste all the info in there into your own Word document or your own Google Drive document. And then that way you have all that info available at your fingertips at all time. So that way you can just copy and paste this instead of having to retype all this every time. So I'm just going to put this at the bottom of my Google Drive down here. That way I just have that, paste that in there, and I can just do that at any time. And then for those of you, like I use OneNote, so I keep a lot of stuff like this in OneNote, so it's super easy to access from my phone or my computer anywhere. You can use Evernote, or you can just save Word documents, or pages, or whatever system you use. So, all right, so that's the email. So that's day 2. Okay, so now here's where we're going to get into some tasks on day 2. So we're going to create a task, and that is going to be, so that's a non-touch task, and that is going to be, So again, we're going to be look up, and then you're going to do the contact name. And for this, we're going to do first name and last name. So we're going to do, so right here, we're going to do first name and last name because you're going to, they're not going to be seeing this, but you're going to want that info. So first name and last name. And what we're going to do here is look up address in tax records. So for those of you that don't know how to do that yet, I'll do a video later. You look it up on the Monsoon system on Armless. And Jackie's probably showed you how to do that for the new agents. So go ahead and look up their address in the tax records. And then if you find an address, that's what's going to determine the next task. So if you find an address, then you are going to create the neighborhood landing page for them. And if you don't find an address for them, then you're going to create a home search for them. So Brandon, quick question on this. So so you say you find an address.
Yep.
Now, should I just put a task that says create a neighborhood landing page instead of, or should I include the neighborhood nurture smart plan as part of this?
I wouldn't include the neighborhood nurtures because it will, if you don't add the address and you don't add the neighborhood, it won't go out.
Well, okay, and that's exactly why I wasn't going to do that. So I'm just going to put it. So these next couple are going to be a task in here instead of being actually an action.
So just real quick, Casey.
Go ahead.
So guys, understand something. When you go ahead and run their name through Monsoon, you may come up with 32 John Smiths. So go ahead and Google the phone number and Google the email address, and you may even want to run it through like PIPL or True People Finder or Nuber or something like that to try to get a little bit more information. As a realtor, you are a licensed stalker. It's okay.
Brandon, what were those? Could you type those two things you were mentioning in the chat? Uber or whatever you were saying?
Yeah.
Thanks.
If memory serves, it's...
Okay, so we're still on day 2 here. So we're not sending anything else to them on day 2, but we're creating a task. So the task is going to be look up their address in tax records. And then and then the next task will be, we're going to create another task. So we're going to put create page. That in a weird spot. And we're going to add in the task description, if you found their address tax records page. Okay, so if you found an address for them, Then you are going to add them to you're going to create the neighborhood landing page and then add them to the biweekly neighborhood nurture smart plan. Now, Brandon, do you just allow the neighborhood nurture smart plan? Do you send them the neighborhood, or do you send them the link in an email?
I usually just allow the smart plan to send it out.
I think that's the easiest way to do it. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And then the rest of it, the rest of the drip campaign remains the same. You're just using that as a touch, and you're going to still continue with your calls and your texts.
Yep. Cool. Okay. So then we're going to set up another task here, and that task is going to be, that's a non-touch. This one's a touch. So this one is going to be create so this is if you So if you guys aren't necessarily getting all this, remember you're going to be able to watch this video again, and you can literally rewind it, fast forward as many times as you want, and copy all this stuff down and create this exactly like I'm creating it now. Eventually, we'll be able to just share these smart plans with each other, but we can't do that yet. So we're making the best of this, and this is actually really cool. It's going to make your lives so much easier. Okay, so this is. Someone just asked, when is this going to be up on YouTube? I will get it all uploaded tonight, and I will send it out on my YouTube channel and the office's YouTube channel tomorrow. So I'll get that out to you by tomorrow. Just sometimes I use 4K video when I do my videos on YouTube, so they can sometimes take a little bit of time to upload. So it'll be by the morning for sure. Okay, so that's the end of day 2. I know it seems like we've done a lot for just 2 days, and then I will also, so remember at the beginning, I did show you how to create the neighborhood search and the neighborhood landing page and the save search. You can just refer back to that when you're creating those. And I'll break those down for you guys later into individual videos that are a little more detailed, so you don't have to rewatch this whole thing to get those just little parts if you just need those. So for the next thing, we're going to do, again, we're going to come up to the top and we're going to do set a delay, because the next thing is going to be the next day. So we're going to do in 1 day. So now the next thing is going to be so we're on day 3 now. So that's going to be a phone call. So this should be listed as day 3 now. And so we're going to say call. And again, we're going to add in the phone number, so you have that right there at your fingertips. So we're going to say do not leave a message. So now now if they do answer, we are going to say, hi, again, always, hi, this is, and you can use the, I was just calling. Wait, did we send that? Oh, I apologize. Give me a second. Day 3. Yeah. So you're gonna say I just wanted to make sure you got. So this is when you'll need to be in the contact card while you're doing this. So got the neighborhood landing page I sent you. Or the list of properties.
And you can always make that really, really simplistic, Casey, and just go, hey, man. Hey, Casey, it's Brandon. Just wanted to touch base, make sure you received the information that I sent you over, the list of properties that I sent you over.
Better.
You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
Because really, you always default back to, you requested information. I just wanted to make sure that you got it. Because otherwise they're gonna flip to, I don't want to be sold, so I want to get off the phone with you.
Yep, cool. Okay, thanks. And again, thanks for being on here, Brandon. So this is the little stuff that's so awesome to have somebody on here helping us out with who's done all this stuff. I have the theory on all this down, so it's good to have someone who's actually done all this in here. So okay. So that's day 3. And so then you're also on day 3, the text, then you're going to do a text. And so that text is going to be similar to what you would say, like if they answered the phone call. So again, if you're going to be using Twilio, you're going to do a text here. So you're going to actually do the text. And I'm going to go ahead and add this into our, I did type it in, it's just on the next page. So hi. And we're just actually going to copy.
Oh, guys, I want to point something out. So these texts, especially once you start using Twilio, these texts or these emails may have actually gone out earlier in the day because you're automating them. So the text may have gone out at 9 o'clock in the morning and you're calling them at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If they've responded to the text, don't call them again, and because then they think like you're insane.
Yeah. And that's and so that plays into what I like stressing is you guys should really be, anytime you're doing anything having to do with your clients in command, anytime you're making contact with them, you should have their contact card in command open. So that way you could be looking at that and you'll be able to see in their timeline, okay, I got a task for this person. It's telling me to call them. Well, you look at the timeline, and if it says you've texted them today and they've responded to you, then don't call them. You're obviously not going to call them again. So you need to, that's why it's always super important to be in the contact card, know what you're doing with people, take really good notes about your contacts, and also inside the contact card, you can also add activities. So when you call the person, when you're doing this stuff, when you call them, create an activity right then in your contact card that says, okay, I called this person today, I left a message. So make sure you track all that. Anything you do regarding them, track it all, and that way you have it all right there.
One piece of information on this one, and this is something that I learned kind of late in the game. Write your notes within your contact files as if you're writing it for someone else. Because
great suggestion.
At some point, you may have admin, you may have another agent, a buyer's rep, a seller's rep, whatever, that's working under you. So as an example, my wife does a lot of work within my business side. She actually started picking up my website, and she's like, I have no idea what's going on, but it makes perfect sense to me because I deal with all these people.
For sure. That is a great suggestion. And honestly, not even just for somebody else. Sometimes I'll look back at my notes I took from a year ago, and when I was writing them, I knew exactly what I was writing. And then when I relook at them, I'm like, why didn't I write more there? So contact first name. In this case, just want to make sure you got the information I sent you. Okay, so that is the end of day 3. So now we're going to get to day 4. So again, we're going to scroll up here and we're going to do set delay. Again, that's how you put time in between these. So we're going to leave it on 1 day and we're going to go to the next day. So now on day 4, we're going to call them. And we're going to leave a message. So call, again, do this every time. First name, phone number.
Another piece of advice, guys.
Go ahead.
When you're going through your call list for the day or your reminders for the day, make all of the calls first. Or let me rephrase that. Make all the calls together, send all the emails together, send all the texts together. Because otherwise you're going to end up task switching and it's going to take you 3 to 4 times longer. Because chances are pretty good you're going to be copying and pasting the exact same email or the exact same text over and over and over again. So just do them all one shot.
Great suggestion. And so it should show up like that for you. Like in your task list, I'm pretty sure you can sort by like what type of thing it is. So you can kind of mess with that and kind of align your tasks like that in your task list as well. So
even if you have to skip over the emails, Casey,
just skip it.
What I learned a long time ago was by doing that, instead of me taking 4 to 6 hours to lead generate in a day, I got it down to about an hour and a half.
That's huge. That's quite a bit of time saved. So, okay. So now this phone call, this one, you are going to leave a message. So leave a message. Or of course, if they answer and you're going to use the similar script up here. You're going to say, again, this is Casey Doty. Just wanted to make sure you got the information I sent you. So you're going to do very similar to what you and then so again, same thing. So you're just I wanted to make sure you got the information I sent you. And you can, of course, when you're leaving a message, you're of course going to say, call me back at, and leave your phone number and all that stuff when you do that, just like you would do on any call. So, okay, so now we're going to go to 5. Actually, let me see. So day 5, we're going to, okay, so now we're going to set delay again. And then we're going to, so now we are going to be adding a smart plan. So here's where, so we're going to do add a smart plan. And this is going to be, we're going to add the, dang it. Okay, so before you can do this, I forgot, you have to do a step first. So we're going to scroll up, everybody, and if you're following along with me, we're going to save this smart plan, and we're going to have to go create the Promote My App smart plan so we can put that in here. So let's go ahead and hit save on this. Oh, I think I'm going to delete that last one that I just added. Yep. So I forgot that you have to actually have the smart plan created in another field before you can add it to this. So we're going to save this. Smart plan cannot have more than 2 tasks in a day. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Smart plan cannot have more than 2 tasks in a day. Okay, so let's not name these some touches. So
for the tasks, Casey, when you're doing it that way, you may just need to put them all on one.
Oh, got you. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay, cool. So that's what we're gonna do. So Okay, so we're gonna transfer all this up here, because honestly this can be the same task, because you're gonna do this at the same time. If you find the address, you're gonna do all this stuff right then anyways. So I just basically what I did, guys, is I copied this info. We're gonna take task 8 and 9 on day 2, and we're just gonna put that into task number, or step number 7 here on that task. So, and we're gonna put both those. We're just gonna add both those to this section here. I've never created my own smart plan with this many steps before, so we got to make sure we. And I guess what that does, it stops you from accidentally, if someone kind of bombarding somebody with like 10 tasks in a couple of days, 10 touches in a couple of days or something. Okay, found their address. Cool. Okay, so let's delete this one. And then we're going to delete step 7. Okay, so we're going to delete this one also. Okay, so now let's see if it'll let me save or if I have to change something else. Smart plan cannot have more than 7 touches within 7 days. So, okay, so. Okay, so the reason this isn't working for me, guys, is because I'm creating this like I am, like I'm both, like I'm not using Twilio and like I'm not using Twilio. So I'm going to delete a couple of these. That's why it's not letting me save this here. So, but you guys are only going to have 1 touch on those. Yep, that's what it was. So, okay, so now we're going to save that. We're going to go into Smart Plans again, and we're going to click on Library, and we're going to do Promote My App, and we're going to click on Add Smart Plan for the Promote My App. So we're going to hit apply on that. So now that we've selected that, we're going to see that one right here in, we're going to see that right here. So it sends an email, and 2 text messages. So, and that's going to be all about promoting the app. So we can see right here, we can look at this, and you can see it's already got this all set up for you here. Oh, that's cool. It didn't have, interesting. It's as one of the merge fields now, Brandon. It has the social app link as one of the merge fields.
Really?
Yeah, they added it. So you don't have to type in the text 8778. Now, I didn't see that in the other one. So let's save this and go see. Yeah, let's save this and go see. So you're just going to hit save on this, and then we're going to go back to the smart plan we were working on. So that would be Facebook lead follow-up, and we're going to click edit right here. So now let's go see if I have my set delay there. Okay, so now we're going to add in, we're going to do add a smart plan, and we're going to do promote my app. Okay, so you can't edit it here, which is fine because we don't need to, we're not going to be editing it at all. So and that will take care of the next few days for this, because it's going to email them and it's going to text them a couple times. So now, again, what you're going to want to do is, if you are, if you're, again, I just recommend getting Twilio, but if you're not using Twilio and you want to kind of do a couple manual steps in this promote my app, you can edit that smart plan and take away and make those 2 text steps manual instead of being automatic, or you could just leave it like this and then just add in tasks like I told you before, and you text message them yourself. So, but you can get the info for what you are going to be sending them out of the promote my app smart plan. So you can come in here and edit this, and then you can see the info that they're doing. And what I would do again with this, just copy this info into like the Google Docs sheet I told you to set up, and start keep any text or anything that you're going to be using, just keep track of all of it. This is what I send. This is an app text message, and so you can kind of keep track of all that. So, and then that way you'll just be able to copy and paste. So, okay. So, and if you have questions about that, for those of you that aren't using Twilio, just you can talk to me, and I'll help walk you through how to set it up a little differently if you're not going to be using Twilio. But okay, so we're going to get back into wrong one. We're going to get back into the Facebook lead follow-up. We're almost done here, guys. We only have a couple more things to do here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is first, I want to see, where's this text message? Yeah, so that's definitely, you can do the social app link is one of these now. That is awesome. So that is cool. So guys, when I was having you put in the email where we did to download, okay, so you can't do it in email, just in text messaging. Okay, cool. So in your email, you still need to say to download my home search app, text your code to 8778. But in a text message, you can just use this. You can use the right here, social app link, and that'll put in the link to your app. That's really cool. It makes that a lot easier. Okay, so now the last steps we're going to do here are call plan, add smart plan. So basically I've already added it, so I can't do it. So whenever you want to use these, you have to add them to your library, and then they show up in the My Smart Plan here. So I'm going to go back to the Facebook lead here. And so now one of the last things we're going to do is we are going to add a smart plan. There we go. So now promote my app. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do set delay. And then we're going to add another smart plan. And that is going to be the quarterly call plan. So that will finish out the 10 days there. Now you have, I know it says day 6, but that's because this promote my app actually goes for 5 days. So that's why it doesn't actually say 10 days. So now you can also, if you want, after this, so that takes care of the 10 days, and then you have kind of the option. It'll keep sending them the neighborhood nurture, which is the an email that shows their neighborhood landing page. It'll keep sending them that every 14 days, or if you set them up on a safe search, every time a new property becomes available that matches their search criteria, they'll get an email about that. But then another thing you can do is there's a couple more for long-term smart plans here. I'm going to show you these. So you can do, like they have right here, this long-term nurture, which involves a phone call, interaction tax. So there's a couple other things. It's got some text messages here. So you can add them to a long-term plan if you want. And then there's a couple different ones here, but I wanted to get you guys through the 10 days, and then you can kind of look at these and decide if you want to add one of these other ones. And all you have to do, again, say you wanted to add this long-term nurture, then we could just do add smart plan again to your library. And then same thing, come over to your smart plan and just add it on to the end of your Facebook lead follow-up. So you can just add it again right there to the end of this. So yeah, so there you go. And then obviously, guys, a lot of this changes based on if they do answer, if they do call you back. So if that happens, then things will things will change with this. So now one of the things that's kind of cool is when you are adding an activity. So Brandon, this is something I found the other day that was kind of cool. So in a contact, so say we're working with this contact and it comes up as a task to make the call. So we're in here, we're making the call. So we do add activity and we say, this is where you can track, did I have a call with the person? Did I text the person? That type of stuff. Now it will also track that, some of that like text messages here if you're using Twilio, but I still like adding as an activity. And then again, you can add a note with this stuff. So take really good notes, add in the activities, and really keep track of all this stuff. And again, so this is where your tasks will be. Your tasks will be right here in the task systems as well as on your home page. So you can see these will start popping up after you create this. Now, if for some reason you don't get to a task that day, or for some reason you can snooze it right here. So you can hit snooze and you can snooze it till a specific date, or you can just snooze it for a day or whatever. So if you don't get to a task, go ahead and do that and move it to the next day. So, all right, so that's our Facebook lead follow-up. And again, you don't have to just use that on Facebook. You could change a couple of those words and use it for anything. So again, let me show you one more thing, how to copy this smart plan. So this is, so you don't have to redo all that if you want to use this for something else besides Facebook. So all you have to do is click copy right here and rename it something else. So let's call this open house lead follow up. So say, again, always spell stuff right. So say we're going to do that. It's going to create a new one for us. Now what you want to do is go in here and look down and just make the changes that you want. So obviously you would take this out, and for visiting my open house. So you wouldn't really have to make a lot of changes to this to change this to make it an open house smart plan. So don't reinvent the wheel. Use stuff you already have. You can take out. So you can take out sections. You can move sections right here. So you can edit these so you don't have to redo them every time. So, all right, guys, that's the open house follow-up. Does anybody have any questions?
Great job, Casey. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and if anybody has any questions for Brandon while he's in here too, you're welcome to ask him any questions as well too. He was a lot of help with this class today. So,
yeah, Brandon, thank you for all the input. That was awesome.
My pleasure, man.
Someone's asking a question on chat. Yep, no problem, guys. All right, so I will get this uploaded tonight and send it out to you guys. And then, and you guys know you're welcome to call me at any time if you need help either doing a Facebook ad like we talked about last week. I'm more than happy to help you with that. Same thing with this. If you need help getting this fine-tuned and everything, I'm more than happy to do that. You can share your screen with me and walk you through everything you need to do. So do not hesitate to call me. I love helping you guys with all this stuff. So, all right, bye everybody. Thanks for attending. I'm ending it.